What is the Santa Claus rally? Everyone's talking about it here, and it's a pretty simple concept. The market has a tendency in the last week of the year, in the beginning of January, to go to the upside. And as a matter of fact, specifically, it's those final 5 days before the end of the year and the first two that signify the Santa Claus rally. Now, it's actually been about 1.4% to the upside on the S&P, which is pretty tremendous for just 1 week that we have seen in recent times for the Santa Claus rally. We've had a bit of a run going into it here. So general thoughts, we know what it is now. I mean, the questions are we going to have it, and what is it going to mean for the markets if it does occur next week?
All right, I can start with this one here. In the event that we get this rally, and I think that's a clear one, that's a clear thing here that we need to look at. Next week is technically the beginning point of when this metric has started. So for the last 5 trading days of the year would start next week. We've had quite the rally this week. So 3 days in a row, we've gone straight up. Now, if we were to get that extension next week, that would put us in territory for brand new highs on these S&P futures. NASDAQ futures, let's take a quick look at the NASDAQ. Would that get us into striking distance for NASDAQ? Yeah, 16,800 would get us there as well. So 5 straight days up with a decent move would get us north of the all-time highs on the NASDAQ and on the ESs. And I think at that point, you could argue that it's going to be very interesting how the beginning of the year finishes. Because remember, last 5 trading days of this year and the first 2 trading days of next year would need to be all positive for this rally to have been complete. But if we go strong north of 47.50 for the next week and we can maintain that momentum into the new year, we keep going, this market is completely gone. We spent way too much time going sideways for us to completely reverse this if we get the first 2 trading days of the year to be positive. So given that we've been essentially at the start of this range was beginning of November, we've been going for 2 months now inside this wide range. An expansion gets you out of that, gets this rally. If this rally gets going, we're gone. This market's gone. But if we were to rally and then, let's just say the first 2 trading days of the year or the first week of the year were to come down negative, it becomes a big issue because it's a false breakout. And I think that's one thing you definitely have to keep an eye on and just watch out for, because if this were to false breakout and come back in, this is going to be bad because that traps a lot of people north of 47.50 that are maybe potentially short getting out, longs getting in because of the expansion. And then move back down to 4,700 kind of opens the door for the downside move. I think that's what you got to watch out for. Regardless of the way it plays out, a move through this 47.50 using this rally should get an extension as the rally completes at the beginning of next year. And I think that's a critical thing. We need that extension, especially going into the year.
So I'm going to basically just echo everything Neil talked about. That it's and we've all done that. It's the last 5 days of the year plus a couple days in the new year, and it's not an exact science here, the rally. But let's just talk about some stocks that have been really just hot fire and kind of leading the way here. And you can't really trade Apple you can't really look at the market without talking a little bit about Apple, right? And so I think that when you're looking here, if you didn't want to take the futures because you're like, you know what, I don't have that much experience, maybe trading the futures, and maybe I don't trust some of the reads here on that or whatever. You don't want to trade an ETF. I say in this point, you just go over to Apple. We talk all the time that they're 10% of the NASDAQ, a certain percent, I think it was 7 or 8 of the S&P. So you can see that. And I don't think you can go wrong trading Apple because there's a lot of tailwinds there for Apple moving forward into the new year, including more talk about their cars, including more talk. I mean, basically everything. We can go on and on about Apple here. They're going to get more into the fitness realm. We've seen Metaverse become very, very popular. I think there's more to come from Apple on that play as well. Their phone is rocking and rolling from what I've heard. Supplies, they can't keep up with them. So look, I think with the supply chain getting figured out here, Apple with a few tailwinds there. Remember, Apple during the Christmas season, Apple's going to be huge too because they still have Apple Pay, right? Deal with Goldman Sachs where they get revenues from that as well. The watch is pretty hot. Everyone's picking up new phones. The 5G cycle. So for me, I love the Santa Claus rally theory. We've been talking about it all week. And we've had 3-4 straight up days here for Apple, and I think it continues. And if the market's going to take out all-time highs, I think you're not wrong picking up some Apple here and riding that even higher. I think Apple outperforms the S&P in 2022.
So there you go. Now you know what the Santa Claus rally is, what it might mean if it does run, what you can play just in case it happens. Now I'm going to end it off here, and I guess I'm going to be the Grinch here, even though you're wearing the Grinch shirt too, Sean. When it doesn't happen, the rare times that it hasn't happened in the last 20 years, believe it or not, 1999, 05, 08, 2015, and 16, when we don't get a rally, which is, the minority of the time, the month of January, when we have no Santa Claus rally, when those 7 days, last 5 of the year and the first 2, when those are not positive, the month of January has been negative on the S&P every single time. So in case it doesn't happen, maybe it's a good opportunity to buy the dip at the end of January, or we take some off there. There it is, the Santa Claus rally for you. Of course, this and more entertaining videos to come, and educational as well. But
I mean, I had to play that. We went the whole video without playing that.
I was waiting for it, but absolutely, it's a fantastic topic, and of course, hope you learned a lot there. And it should be a good one. We are expecting to have a Santa Claus rally, and play it and enjoy it.